In an ancient Babylonian New Year's festival, the king was ritually beaten and humiliated in order to prepare for the new year. Around the 1st of April, this festival coincided with what is now April Fool's Day. But this was certainly no joke. In the first week of the month of Nisan, the Akitu festival took place. The festival was celebrated during the first millennium BCE and was dedicated to Marduk, head of the Babylonian gods. On the 5th day of the festival, the king underwent an unusual ritual. The high priest pulls him by his ears, forces him to kneel, then strikes his cheek, whilst the king asserts that he has not committed any offense against the gods or the temple. His crown and insignias were removed by the high priest early on, and they are now returned, but then follows another slap. After this second slap, he should preferably be crying. In the text where Marduk is called Bel, which means Lord, it states that, "If tears flow, Bel is content. If tears do not flow, Bel is angry, an enemy will rise and bring about his downfall." The king would not normally be presented in this way. In depictions from palace reliefs, for example, the king is generally portrayed with more muscles, longer beard, longer hair, and taller than anyone else who shares his relief. The same can be said for texts. Being slapped by a priest is not normally part of the communication strategy of the Babylonian court, if there ever was one. For this reason, this ritual has baffled researchers for over a century, and their opinions differ on what it actually means. Does the king suffer for the people's offenses, or is it a symbolic death and resurrection? Is it a re-coronation or a rite of passage? Most scholars find it to be a renewal for the king, a coronation which makes the king king for another year. But there are those who find a more political motif. Some believe that the festival became more important when the Babylonians were under foreign rule, for example, the Persians with Alexander the Great and later under Hellenistic rule. The ritual's popularity might have been a way of illustrating that the wrong king was on the throne. The abuse from the high priest could actually be an act of rebellion. This gives the ritual a political undertone, rather than a cosmological, which we shall turn to now. The ritual is part of a larger festival where, among other things, the temple is fumigated and sprinkled with water in a cleansing ritual. This can be seen as a symbolic destruction and recreation. The exorcist and the slaughterer who performed the ritual were banished from the city for the remainder of the festival. Meanwhile, a statue of Marduk was carried in a procession and was not allowed to enter the city before the temple was purified. Then, the strike on the cheek and the other abusive elements of the ritual are all part of the same narrative, purifying and starting anew. This theme is also a recurring motif in the Babylonian creation epic, Enuma Elish, where Marduk subdues chaos and recreates cosmos. This text was also recited during the festival. So either we understand it as a subversive ritual with political motifs, where a foreign king is humiliated under the alibi of the festival, or the ritual follows the same pattern as in the Jewish festival of Yom Kippur, for example, a period of atonement which marks the beginning of a new year where chaos is subdued and order is restored. Luckily, in this case, one does not have to rule out the other. A more light-hearted version of the Akitu festival is still celebrated among Assyrians today, every year on the 1st of April. My name is Sara Järlemyr at the Center for Theology and Religious Studies at Lund University. Thank you for listening.